Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to all the latest buzz on the Great White Way. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I'm Beth Stevens. Today we get a sneak peek of Broadway's upcoming SpongeBob SquarePants musical, go on location with the tour stars of On Your Feet, learn all about Schoolgirls, the African Mean Girls play, and head to opening night of Time and the Conways.
And later, we're sitting down with School of Rock tour leading man Rob Coletti.
But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Paul?
Broadway's August Wilson Theater will have a new occupant before those Mean Girls move in next spring. The holiday-themed concert Home for the Holidays is scheduled to play a limited engagement November 17th through December 30th, with opening night on November 21st. America's Got Talent Season 1 winner Bianca Ryan, The Voice Season 6 winner Josh Kaufman, and American Idol Season 12 winner Candace Glover will headline, backed by an 8-piece rhythm and brass band. With creative and musical direction by Jonathan Tessero, the show will feature traditional songs like O Come All Ye Faithful, and more modern favorites like All I Want for Christmas Is You. Seasonally themed narration will be by The Bachelorette Season 11 star Caitlin Bristow, plus there'll be Manhattan Christmas stories supplied by actor and singer Danny Aiello. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
Alan Tudyk will no longer be appearing in Steve Martin's Meteor shower on Broadway. The Firefly actor exited the production just weeks before performances are scheduled to begin due to creative differences. Jeremy Shamus, who was nominated for a Tony Award for his performance in Clybourne Park, will replace Tudyk in the role of Norm, who is the husband of Amy Schumer's character. The show follows two couples in marital freefall at a dinner party in Ojai, California. The other couple is portrayed by Tony winner Laura Benanti and Emmy winner Keegan-Michael Key. Meteor Shower is still set to begin performances on November 1st at the Booth Theater and open there on November 29th.
I never know exactly what creative differences means.
It means mind your own business.
Got it. Time for your casting update. Broadway favorite Jason Daniely has been tapped for the role of Philip Stuckey in the Broadway-bound Pretty Woman the Musical. Director-choreographer Jerry Mitchell said, quote, "All I can say is I lucked out when he said yes." Daniely will join Samantha Bark, Steve Kazee, and Orphe for the initial 5-week run at Chicago's Oriental Theater starting on March 13th, 2018, before the production heads to a Nederlander venue on the main stem in the fall. Meanwhile, Tony winner Karen Ziemba will star as Martha Watson in the national tour of Irving Berlin's White Christmas. The musical production is set to kick off in Fayetteville, Arkansas on November 7th before heading to additional cities across the country.
It really is beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
And yet it's not even Halloween.
And the weather feels like August.
Yeah, we're also confused.
You know what they say, follow the money. And if you're following the investors of Come From Away and Sweeney Todd, you will likely end up at a celebration this week. Broadway's Come From Away, which tells the true story of thousands of stranded passengers on 9/11 in a small town in Newfoundland, recouped its $12 million capitalization in less than 8 months on the Great White Way. Meanwhile, the far less heartwarming story of a murderous barber in the off-Broadway revival of Sweeney Todd at downtown's Barrow Street Theater turned pie shop has turned a profit on its $1.22 million investment in just 24 weeks. Congratulations to these very different shows.
Sonia Taya, who has been nominated for an Emmy twice for her work on So You Think You Can Dance, will craft the moves of Lady Marmalade and more tunes for the stage adaptation of Moulin Rouge. Based on Baz Luhrmann's 2001 motion picture, the musical is scheduled to hold a developmental workshop from October 30th through December 15th. Also joining the previously reported director Alex Timbers and book writer John Logan on the creative team will be set designer Derek McLean, costume designer Catherine Zuber, lighting designer Justin Townsend, and sound designer Peter Halinsky. Casting and details of the premiere engagement of Moulin Rouge will be announced in the coming months. Ooh la la!
Here's an early holiday gift. The film adaptation of Michael John LaChiusa's 1994 musical Hello Again will receive a limited nationwide release in movie theaters beginning on November 8th. Hello Again follows a string of affairs among 10 characters through each decade of the 20th century and features a number of Broadway stars, including 6-time Tony winner Audra McDonald, 3-time Tony nominee Martha Plimpton, Cheyenne Jackson, T.R. Knight, Rumor Willis, Jenna Ushkowitz, Nolan Gerard Funk, and more. If you're in the mood for a musical love affair this winter, you're in luck.
When we come back, we chat with the stars of Time and the Conways, sit in on rehearsal for Broadway's SpongeBob SquarePants, get hot in Miami with the stars of the On Your Feet tour, and more.
What's new on Broadway.com? Go backstage with waitress star Betsy Wolfe in the newest episode of Character Study.
Sugar, butter,
Broadway's Come From Away is a Best Musical winner all across North America. This stirring and inspiring musical takes you to a place you never want to leave. Celebrate the best of humankind and the best in all of us at Come From Away, the remarkable true story of the small town that welcomed the world.
Hi, I'm Billy Crudup, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. Time in the Conways, starring Downton Abbey's Elizabeth McGovern, opened at the American Airlines Theatre on October the 10th. The revival of J.B. Priestley's time-hopping play had the stars excited about its first production since its 1938 debut on Broadway.
I think this play is about giving a warning to people in the future that the things that you do now in your present affect what happens in the future, and I think that people do not listen. And if anything that this play can do is to offer a warning is to be kind, treat people well, and just the seeds that you sow now will really truly affect what happens.
I mean, I feel overwhelmed by the play and the ideas of the play. I find profoundly moving and painfully relevant and resonant to our world today.
I'm one of these people that just does not have a sense for time at all, and this show sort of is a good show for me because it kind of says that's okay, that time isn't, you know, what we think it is, how we like to define it.
Time in the Conways explores one family's fortunes and frictions, and the stars hope this universal subject matter gets audiences talking.
My great hope is that people will see the play on the multiple levels on which it is meant to exist. So it's both a family drama, and my hope is that people will be moved by that and, you know, engaged by that and really talk about all those complicated family dynamics.
I hope that people are saying, my God, I'm going to go call my father, or I'm going to go call my mother, and I want to connect with the people that mean the most to me. And I hope that people slow down and don't take life for granted. And I hope that people offer acts of kindness to strangers. And I think that if there's anything this play can do, is can help you slow down.
When you look around the world today, it's easy to feel a lot of anxiety and despair and hopelessness. And J.B. Priestley somehow takes us out of being in the middle of despair and hopelessness and an absolute feeling that nothing will ever be good again. And he gives us some perspective, and he says things are bad and things are also good, and that's part of life. And that's a real takeaway. I think that's very useful today.
The On Your Feet tour did the conga all the way down to Miami, where the show officially launched at the Adrian Arch Center on October 6th. We took a trip to the Magic City to celebrate with the show's stars and inspirations during the grand opening and chat with them about why this popular musical is so much more than a chance to move your feet and shake your body.
So thrilled to be in Miami. It's such a beautiful show, and it's supposed to be here. You know, we brought it home.
The show is so magical here. It's something totally different. It gets me emotional just talking about it. I'm so happy to bring it home.
This is the city that allowed our music to be what it is, and that has allowed us to be who we are, and that we love in the center of our being, so it couldn't be better.
I was crying tonight, and I know what happens, but I was still crying, and I was still laughing, and I was very proud, very proud.
7-time Grammy winner, Hollywood Walk of Famer, and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, Gloria Estefan is more than just the inspiration behind On Your Feet. Alongside her husband Emilio, the Estefans continue to be the guiding spirits of the show, who hope that audiences across the country will find elation and hopefulness in their story.
We try to make something that connects us as human beings, doesn't matter where you're from, that it celebrates the beautiful things that make us human.
I think that there's something really inspiring about their story, and of course, you know, you can't deny the music. I mean, this music is timeless.
You get a balance of family, of party, of emotions, and of hope. You come leaving believing in yourself so much more.
Now more than ever, this country needs this story. So just to stand there and say this is what an American looks like, and to celebrate love and to celebrate diversity.
I'm also an immigrant. I'm a Mexican artist that emigrated to this country in the pursuit of an American dream, and this is what an American looks like too, you know?
Jocelyn Bio's new work, Schoolgirls, or The African Mean Girls play, directed by Tony winner Rebecca Teichman, is set at Ghana's most exclusive boarding school. And just like the Tina Fey movie from which the subtitle is taken, teen girl menace runs rampant.
Schoolgirls, or the African Mean Girls play, is set in a Brui girls' school, which is in Ghana. It's a boarding school, and Paulina, the queen bee of her pack, is super excited about auditioning for the Miss Ghana pageant, set in the 1980s. The pageants were like huge back then, and a recruiter's coming to, scout girls, but a new girl transfers into the school who looks a lot different from the rest of the girls in the school, and comedy and drama ensue.
I love to be working on such a good piece, being helmed by such smart, funny, thoughtful women. Jocelyn and Rebecca, they're just stunning, and they're stars, and I'm lucky. Just consider myself so fortunate to be in the room.
It's an incredible cast, and they all really understand Jocelyn's tone, this tone that is both really funny, fiercely funny, in a kind of wild, raw way, and also has this profound depth and complexity.
The new play explores voices not often heard on a New York stage, young African women who may be distressed but are not in danger.
Many people probably have met Ghanaian schoolgirls, but nobody ever thinks of Africa in that way. It's always hardship and war and strife and famine, and people forget or don't realize that, there are regular girls going to school, regular children who go to regular schools with regular children problems.
Playing the reigning queen bee, Paulina, in this play is really fun. Playing someone completely not myself, dealing with conflict and situations in a completely different way than I would do in real life is a fun exercise to tackle.
We get to delve into some pretty rooted traumas, but do it in a very comedic way.
We're walking into a world that many of us have never been in and don't know at all, and I think we'll find sort of oddly familiar in terms of sort of how young girls treat each other in a high school and how kind of vulnerable they are to systemic problems.
I think African Mean, at least in my play, they are brutal. But I think that's there's a universality in that. I think that all of us who've been to school understand what it's like to want to be part of the popular crew, to not have access to it, or to be in that crew, and what you do to maintain that status.
It gives the world to see, an opportunity to see Africa as just the rest of the world. Regular people, having
Human
regular
beings.
human experiences, going to school, competing with each other and loving each other and laughing at each other and laughing with each other.
Living and growing and loving and growing. Yes.
SpongeBob SquarePants, the new Broadway musical based on the long-running Nickelodeon cartoon, is almost here. We recently headed to rehearsal to meet the cast and creative team before the show heads to the Palace Theatre in November.
Hello sky, hello flowers, hello Bikini Bottom. On my way, hey! The pulse is pumping and the traffic's been to pay.
SpongeBob SquarePants the musical takes place in Bikini Bottom. Mount Humongous, the giant volcano near the town, is set to erupt and destroy the town. And SpongeBob, Sandy, and Patrick have to find a way to save the town, not only from the volcano, but from themselves.
So the question is, will SpongeBob save the day, or will Plankton get in his way? That's my version of the plot, anyway.
It gets a little dark in a SpongeBobian way, and at the center of it all is SpongeBob, who never gives up belief that he can save the town and that he can remind his fellow citizens that what they have together as a community is the most important thing.
The musical score includes original songs from heavy hitters like Sarah Bareilles, Panic at the Disco, John Legend and more. With all that talent, the cast and creators feel that both die-hard fans and first-time Bikini Bottom visitors will love this show and its unapologetically optimistic hero.
The audiences for SpongeBob will get the biggest variety of stuff thrown at them for 2.5 hours. Having all these different composers write all the different songs, we have so many different styles.
You don't necessarily need to be a SpongeBob fan to come and see the show because it's so universal and we're telling this story that's very relevant and relatable. But if you are a SpongeBob fan, there's so many wonderful little Easter eggs for you that will be so thoroughly enjoyable and hilarious throughout.
There's a crazy, offbeat, surrealist humor
that is so much fun to watch and also so much fun to write. You get to let your imagination go wild.
What's not to love about SpongeBob SquarePants? Come on. Come on!
When we come back, we stick it to the man with School of Rock tour star Rob Coletti.
Broadway's Come From Away is a Best Musical winner all across North America. This stirring and inspiring musical takes you to a place you never want to leave. Celebrate the best of humankind and the best in all of us at Come From Away, the remarkable true story of the small town that welcomed the world.
Rob Coletti is starring as wannabe rock star Dewey Finn in the first national tour of School of Rock the Musical, which launches this fall. Coletti recently stopped by our studio in Times Square to talk about taking on the role and why people should be psyched to see this show. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to jump right into it. What was it like? How did you react when you found out that you would be leading the first national tour of School of Rock?
Man. I screamed really loud. I was like trying to talk myself into, you know, accepting like an understudy role, you know.
Right.
It was a huge surprise and a really bright spot in the year for sure.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity. How familiar were you with the movie or the show itself before you became involved?
Well, I never saw the Broadway show. I'd seen the movie years ago,
Right.
and obviously it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really actually had never seen the Broadway show. I haven't been in LA or New York for the last couple of years. I've been in LA.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So I hadn't gotten to see it before the audition process.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you seen it since?
I did. They sent me to see the show after my final call.
It's a good start.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think about it? What do you enjoy most about it?
Actually, the best part about the show, the Broadway show, is that it's more about the kids than the movie is. The movie is about the Jack Black character, Dewey Finn, and he's incredible, and like obviously the movie is iconic and all of that, but the story for the children is really elevated in the story, and obviously the big finale that occurs at the end when they all play together is like super magical, but when the stakes are lifted for them, that's really what sells, I think, the show over the movie, in my opinion. I prefer the play. Yeah.
Right, yeah,
I mean,
no.
I'm biased.
And like when those kids, we were talking earlier, the kids that they find for this production are insanely talented.
Outrageous.
And you can feel the audience like all leaning forward in their seats when they've all got something to do. They're like rooting for these kids, but they're super talented.
No, 100% play everything themselves.
Right.
It's like, it blows you out of the water just witnessing that live and in person. It's like, literally, before being a preteen, they are better at instruments than I was at playing video games when I was their age. It's crazy.
Right. I want to talk about this role of Dewey Finn a little bit. What excites you most about playing Dewey, and how much of Rob is in this version of Dewey?
A lot. I mean, the role of Dewey is clearly one of the most fun roles, I think, right now on Broadway.
Absolutely.
So like that alone is super exciting, but I don't know. There clearly are a lot of similarities in the physical appearance, but no, I mean, he is a good-hearted, well-meaning individual who just kind of like makes a bad decision that actually ends up doing some good for everyone, and it works out well in the end for him, but it could potentially have been worse, and playing this like role of someone who has such high stakes to balance on is like an unbelievable privilege. I can't believe that they're letting me do it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, totally. And I find Dewey's hero's journey just one of the most endearing and relatable.
Totally.
Because he's just this guy who has a dream, he wants to do something big, and he finds his way through it.
Yeah.
Is that fun to play? I mean, you just have the whole audience is rooting for you the whole time. They're on your side.
And it would be very easy, too, to have them kind of root against him because some of the things he does are a little questionable morally. But yeah, no, like he clearly is kind of this embodiment of the side of ourselves that I think we kind of try to push away as we get older. And one of the really wonderful traits that he possesses is his ability to kind of remain a kid in adulthood. And I think all of us, the older audience members who see the show, want to be part of our youth again
Yeah.
in a way, and that alone makes him very, very relatable. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I don't need to tell you this, but this role is non-stop. I mean, it's just, it has to be absolutely exhausting. How do you even prepare for something like that while taking care of yourself in the meantime?
Well, I drink a lot of water, and I steam every morning and every night before I go to bed. But yeah, I mean, also, well, coffee.
Right, I mean,
yeah.
the energy, yeah. But just how do you keep it up? How do you,
really the kids, they bring so much energy. Like, they do a 45-minute warm-up every day. Wow. And it's like, they don't stop bouncing across the room, and jumping jacks and laps, and burpees and all of this stuff. And at the end, they're like still bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
And just like seeing that, I mean, you can't not feed off that energy.
Right.
You know?
Feel like you need to come up to meet them. Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely.
Is there a particular moment or a particular song that you're working on right now that you are just really having fun with, that you're excited for people to see?
Yeah. You're in the Band is like,
yeah.
Watching these kids kind of start being all stiff and like not really understand how they're having this opportunity to have fun in a classroom, and then slowly open up, and at the end this like big harmony build occurs, and the whole audience
gives me chills just thinking about it.
It's incredible, and they're kids. That's what really pulls you in. You said before, like, people are sitting forward in their seats, like, you can't not feel their energy and like want to attach to the journey that they're going on, and that song is like the launching pad for it.
And this show, it's such a big hit. People love it. What about it do you think makes it so successful and makes people so enthusiastic about it? No one walks away from this show without saying, I had the best time in there.
Right.
Where do you think that?
I keep coming back to the kids, but truly, like, this, in my humble opinion, is Andrew Lloyd Webber's best score since like Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Obviously the song from the movie that exists is great, but so many of the other things that have been added since are like infectious. And I caught myself singing things that I didn't know the words to, just the melodies looped in my head for days after I saw it. So the music is definitely at the core of that. And obviously, like, again, the children being the focus of this story as opposed to Dewey being the only person that you're kind of focused on really elevates the stakes and the journey and your wanting to witness it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Being part of a touring production, super exciting. Get to go all across the country. What, besides doing the show in cities everywhere, what excites you most about going on this adventure? What are you excited to do while you go across this great nation of ours?
Yeah, oh man, I don't know. I toured before with the Book of Mormon,
which
was a blast, but we actually, that tour was a lot of like sitting in a specific city for extended periods of time. This we really like bounce around quite a bit, and we're going to be able to bring it to more people, which is super exciting. I guess I'm most excited to reach more areas and see places that I haven't gotten to see yet. We go to Chicago, which is my hometown.
Oh, okay,
I'm really excited to play in Chicago. And yeah, the whole West Coast again is just so beautiful. I'll definitely take some time to do a little sightseeing while I'm out.
You got it. You have to. Yeah. And as people like look at what shows are coming to their cities, as they're thinking about what to subscribe to, why do you hope people will look out for and buy tickets to School of Rock? Why do you hope they'll come and see you guys?
Well, I mean, it's just like a great reminder of the power of art in music, and how like it's so easy for us to get lost in our day-to-day lives and overlook the things that affect us internally, and kind of like get lost in the noise of this day and age where all of these really strange things are happening around us. And, you know, if you see this show, you're going to leave uplifted.
Yeah.
That is really the most effectual quality of this play. It really, really moves people. I mean, I saw it on a weeknight and the house was full, and everyone at the end was up and leaving with glowing smiles on their faces. I mean, it's unbelievably uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they make sure they go check it out for themselves.
Yeah. Do not miss it. You can't.
No.
It's so good.
It's one of the big ones. Rob, thanks so much for joining us. Hope people go see School of Rock on the road.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Please come see us.
Coming up, an exciting sister act as Tony winner Idina Menzel duets with her sister Cara.
Broadway's Come From Away is a Best Musical winner all across North America. This stirring and inspiring musical takes you to a place you never want to leave. Celebrate the best of humankind and the best in all of us at Come From Away, the remarkable true story of the small town that welcomed the world.
This is Mercedes Ruehl. You're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with the Menzel sisters. That's Idina and Kara singing a lovely duet of Never Neverland from Peter Pan in support of Kara's memoir, Voice Lessons.
See you next week.
Just think of lovely things, and your heart will fly on wings forever.